Bitcoin touches all-time highs. Microsoft says no, but Microstrategy says hell yes. Ripple's CTO David Schwartz issues a huge warning to the Ripple family. I'm going to share that with you, along with XRP price talk at the end.
Due to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
All-time highs. Buying the tip. Warnings from big shots, but you know what happens? Yep, your comments come first because you, the viewer, matter most. Jonathan Abramson says, great job with the analysis and feel better under the weather myself. One question, do you think we have risk with who is chosen for being adopted by the government? I know there's always risk, but does XRP have enough market adopters to counter an alternative choice? Think about this. The people so far that have been placed in government in terms of Trump's positions have all been very pro-crypto overall. So far, nothing is really scaring me. The only thing that scares me, though, is remember, banks still run a lot of the show, and you can't really appoint new people at banks, right? Like the way you would a candidate. So if banks want to stay anti-crypto, they're going to wait to be pressured from like the FDIC and so forth. So keep an eye out on that. Alex GR says, honestly, this isn't surprising. Coinbase being accused of market manipulation, they've been halting withdrawals every time Bitcoin pumps for ages. Yeah, how many times did we see the market roar and Coinbase couldn't keep up? Leonardo Ashton's thinking the same thing. They removed Wrap BTC so they could push their own Coinbase BTC. That's it. It's all business. Wish I could say Coinbase BTC was better, but it's no better than a shitcoin. Totally agree. I'm not a big fan of wrapped BTC products myself. Speaking of BTC, Bitcoin's sitting at 105,401. ETH is 39.29. XRP at 238, while BNB's at 713. ADA is at 106, while SWE's at 475. We're going to talk a lot of price at the end, but first, BTC hits a new all-time high after Trump confirms the Federal Reserve plan. You know, we have a strategic oil reserve, we've got a gold reserve, so now they're like, yo, let's go with a BTC reserve. And what should we do about all the drones that we're seeing all over?
Let me tell you something. I'm from Buenos Aires, and I say kill them all!
Yeah! Oh yeah! Yeah! Oh yeah! Well, thanks, Johnny Rico. Appreciate the advice. Trump says it, reinforces it, price pumps. The price of BTC hit a new all-time high after Donald Trump conferred plans to create a federal BTC reserve. The incoming president first proposed the reserve during an appearance at the Bitcoin 2024 conference in July. And back then, we didn't know the direction that this would take us. I mean, think about that. Remember when that conference happened and we're like, okay, cool. Trump's saying this, but is there going to be enough crypto votes to swing the election? Well, we learned it wasn't just crypto votes. Ag helped us out, and a bunch of other groups were like, yo, we don't want the Dems in control, so they voted him out. Speaking to CNBC on Sunday, Trump suggested his administration would focus on overhauling regulation and introduce favorable policies that would boost crypto. We're going to do something great with crypto because we don't want China or anybody else, but others are embracing it, and we want to be ahead. All right, BTC price. Look at this. This is the chart for the year. Absolute bonkers and nutso action. And honestly, BTC has had a massive pump since the election, pushing it from 67,000 to well over 105. We still got more room to go. People are buying at the tip. Yeah, Microstrategy acquires even more BTC. Holy shit. So if you were worried about Microsoft saying no to crypto, you really don't have to worry that much because Microstrategy said, well, that's okay, girlfriend. I've got more money, so let me buy more. The purchases occurred between December 9th and December 15th at an average price of what, everyone? $100,000 per BTC. Oh, God. And during the same period, the company sold 3.8 million shares, raising $1.5 billion. They're selling shares and future debt to buy BTC. As of December 15th, talk about centralization, MicroStrategy holds BTC valued over $45 billion. They've invested 27.1. Okay, so their average is 61,000 per BTC. And no, they're not 2xing their money, but they're darn close. And what MicroStrategy is doing, buying at the tip, buying, say, for instance, at 100,000. I shared with you a story a couple days ago about Marathon Digital. No, I'm not calling it Mara, but Marathon Digital bought it over 100,000 as well. These companies are like, look, BTC at 100,000 is cheap. So when it comes to your question saying, hey, with the picks out there, is it going to be enough oomph for us to counter any negative choices or alternative choices? Honestly, there's so much bullish sentiment going forward in the market that I don't really have any fears about anyone that's been picked so far. Like I said, I just worry more about the legacy systems kind of turning around. Think of the media too, right? The media is not going to change. They're always going to be anti-crypto and run an agenda. Maxine's always going to be anti-crypto. Pocahontas, Lizzie Warren, her 1% self is always going to be anti-crypto. So you're always going to have the haters. But the lovers out there, they're growing and they're buying the tip. Now, David Schwartz issued a really good warning in regards to RLUSD, and I've seen a couple comments that scared me a little bit. Yeah, a couple of you asked, where can you buy RLUSD? It's for institutions as of right now. So if someone's selling it to you, it's fake AF. Here's the other problem. There are certain open markets right now that have RLUSD valued at more than $1,200 a piece. That is nutso. That makes 0 sense. It's a stable coin. Listen to this. The recent pre-market valuation could suggest that the current demand significantly outweighs this available supply. But this is not something that Schwartz expects to last long after launch. Here's his tweet, and as always, any article you see in this video, along with all my other ones, will be linked where everyone, you know where, in the description below. As RLUSD goes live, there may be supply shortages in the very early days before the market stabilizes. There is actually someone willing to pay $1,200 per RLUSD for a tiny fraction of one. Tools will show you the highest price anyone is willing to pay, even if it's just for a tiny bit. But rest assured, the price will come back very close to $1 as soon as supply stabilizes. If you want to spend a lot of money to get a bunch of RLUSD before anyone else does, you can, but don't expect the price to stay over $1. The whole point of a stable coin is to have a stable price. So if you're looking to make some money, buying RLUSD is not the way to do it. Now, institutions will be able to buy some RLUSD and probably earn anywhere from 7 to 10, maybe 11% on that action. But you're talking about multiplying. So don't look at RLUSD as the multiplier because it's a stable coin. So yes, there are some outrageous prices out there like $1,200 per RLUSD. But that's just right now the initial supply and demand shock. And that ain't gonna last because guess what? If more people want to keep buying RLUSD, guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna keep minting more to get that price to $1. All right, swing it on over. All right, so what happened was this. BTC goes on a roar, pushes it more to Bitcoin season. Although we're still in altcoin season at 61 out of 100, we were in the 70s and 80s not too long ago. And you can see that BTC is starting to swallow the news, okay? Not just the price, but the news. BTC is kind of doing the same thing. And I like looking at this top dash right here, okay? And in fact, it's the other reason why I like looking at the heat map. BTC is up 2.7 or 2.47% last 24 hours. Majority of the crypto market's in red. We've seen that, right? BTC goes up. The rest of the crypto market doesn't do the same. BTC goes down. The rest of the market goes down even further. So we're kind of going back to where we were before the Trump days. Because before the Trump days, and when I look at XRP, I'm going to bring it here. That's this section right here. This kind of boring flat section right here. And we saw that BTC really tugged the market. It went up 5%. Alts would go up 1. BTC goes down 1%. Alts would go down 5. Then we saw this altcoin dominance right here start hitting hardcore in November, continuing into December. And during that time, we really saw the alts shine. But now BTC is stealing the show as a lot of the alts have moved sideways. But that's okay, because if we're moving sideways on volume which hasn't been as high as of late, we're still really, really, really happy about this. But now let's zoom in a little bit closer to XRP. The 7 day is interesting because remember, within this last week is when we had the really big scare getting us to that sub $2 mark. In fact, the candlestick that got us there was $1.90 at the low, on the dot. So that tells you where buyers had their buy orders set in, $1.90. But since then, right, we've bounced between the 230, 250, hovering around there, and we're all totally happy with this. This is good. Look what happened this morning. Volume picked back up 28% to what? $7 billion in volume. Overall crypto volume up 37%. So again, we're back to that previous pattern that we saw before the election, where during the week things are hot, spicy, naughty, and relevant, and on the weekend they get boring AF. This is okay though, because when we went into this move again, you did not see the price of XRP retreat. In fact, look at this. Look at the bottom of the screen here where I talk about volumes here. Volumes of XRP, 24 billion, 18 billion, 48 billion, 52 billion, 24 billion. Those are 24-hour marks. Now we're at 7 billion. So you can see the volume has heavily eroded, but the price is still holding really strong. The market seems pretty comfortable with XRP between 220 and 250, more specifically between 235 and 245. Where do I have my alerts? I'm still setting them at 250 and still setting them at 230 on the lows. Volume for XRP, we've talked about that. Market cap still holding strong. Price action, well, let's jump into those candlesticks to see if something jumps out at us. But honestly, we know what the deal is. When BTC steals the show, the alts kind of go quiet. And you can see it right here. It hasn't been too crazy here over the last several days as BTC has been regaining its dominance. But we know what happens when BTC runs to the top and then struggles. Players look for alternative options to make money out there. There isn't everyone out there isn't like Microstrategy, isn't like Marathon. They're not sitting there going, yo, we could buy at the tip. They're looking for some value proposals. So they look around in the market and they're like, all right, which one of these cryptos here hasn't hit all-time highs yet? XLM hasn't, XRP hasn't. There's a whole bunch of them that haven't. And they're going to look for those value propositions. They're also going to look for it as a store of value play, which is great for the alts. We just need BTC to do its thing. And gotta be honest with you, if BTC keeps the market excited and if BTC keeps the market going while we go through this holiday time where it usually gets a little quiet, I'm cool with that because it's a hell of a lot better than where we were sitting last year. Yeah, seriously, when you're done with this video, take a look at the price action last year and you're gonna be like, yeah, what a difference a year makes. Okay, so the alts stall while BTC pumperinos again. That's okay because this Wednesday coming up, Jerome Powell and the Fed are expected to drop another 25 basis points. That then makes money cheaper, right? So if you want to get into risky alts like venture capital has, and venture capital is definitely putting more money into alts as rates come down, as rates come further down, you can take more of those risks and it costs you less, which is great for the alts. BTC honestly seems to be doing its own thing, and it has to do with store of value and strategic reserves. No, the BTC play is not about how fast you're moving money. The BTC play is not about payments. It's about owning shit that other people want to own. That's why Trump is like, look, we got to beat China. We got to beat Russia. We got to beat X, Y, and Z. Seeing the same thing for Microstrategy. They're doing the same thing. They're like, yo, we're going to gobble up as much BTC as we can so that others can't. Okay, cool. Well, what happens then when all the BTC is gobbled up and prices are stagnant because people are like, okay, cool, all the bigs own it, it's centralized, now what? Well, they start rotating into the alts. They start looking into value-based alts. They start looking into alts that have good history, that have good development, that have good following, that have good oomph behind it. Magumbo, I don't know what you want to call it. And that's when the alts will really shine. So I'm cool with BTC touching all-time highs. I'm also cool with you touching the subscribe and like button, which really helps this channel out a lot, and it's free. But honestly, if the alts can hold their own while BTC does its thing, and if the BTC move keeps us all alive during this transition period between, the Biden-Gensler power and then, the Trump-Atkins phase, that's awesome. That's a really good way to bridge the gap because we saw when traditional media and the Biden, group, right, starts talking negative about crypto, it can really push the market down. So if BTC is going to stand in front of us and be the shield that gets us through to January 20th, I'm totally cool with that. Because we saw what happened the last time that BTC stalled. The alts roared, and they roared for about a month straight. So let BTC have its day, because the alts will too. Choo-choo what? Bitches.